Okay, what we're making today is a White Lotus Pai Sho piece from Avatar the Last Airbender. I'm only making the one piece because it's a gift for one of my friends, and because he did a cosplay of Iroh, I thought that he'd like the White Lotus piece, like either for his cosplay or just like to memorialize it. And I only made it big enough where when you're holding it, you can kind of see the detail on it, and it's not super thick. You could probably do an entire board, but it would take you a long time. And then next to me is the reference picture. So that's what I'll be looking at while I'm doing this. And I've already made the piece out of polymer clay, flattened it out, and then baked it, and it's black polymer clay. So you can use whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter too much, but just know that you'll be painting over it. And if you're using like a more expensive polymer clay or a color that you like and want to preserve, don't use it for this project. Just use something where you don't mind using it all up. Because you'll be painting over it. So I got my water cup, my coffee, and my paints. So I just use acrylic paint. I use a mixture of like craft acrylic paint and artist's paint, but this is just because this is what I have lying around. The difference between these two is this one is thicker in consistency. So we're gonna make brown. So what I like to do for brown is to take kind of like a taupey beige color that I have lying around. You don't have to use this specific color, but it's nice to pair a little bit of a brown you already have or some sort of shade close to brown. It'll come out. Come on! Oh geez, that was a lot. A lot more than I wanted to use. That's what happens. Okay, so I like to use a paint that I have lying around, kind of just that has a brown color in appearance, because sometimes it's hard to mix brown. So there's this. Do a little bit of red. And you don't want too much. You want kind of equal parts of the primary colors. So red, yellow, and blue. I mean, you can have probably a little less blue depending on what shade of brown you want. I kind of want a warmer brown for this. To me, that's what it looks like. It's a warmer brown. So I like to do a little bit less blue, especially because blue is pretty dark. Okay. And then the trick to brown is always have white and black paint, because that will give you the brown appearance. So I'm going to try mixing these, just no special way to do this, at least not for me. It's just kind of like trial by fire. See, it's getting a green appearance because of the blue, so you want to kind of tone that down with more red and more yellow. Add this to here. See what we get. Definitely feel like more yellow. And it's okay if you don't have like the perfect shade as you go, because you're probably going to do this in a couple layers. Depending on the consistency of your paint, how dark your piece is. Blending. Okay. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I just used my paintbrush to mix. I don't have any mixer tools as of yet, but it's just, I mean, a paintbrush works. It's just the only problem is sometimes if you use the same paintbrush as you're going, it can look a little streaky and the colors won't be perfectly even. This looks like it needs to be darker. And sometimes you don't want streaky, you just want an even finish of color, but this is getting there. It needs to be darker, so we need black. A little bit black. Okay. If you could hear my fan on in the background, then sorry about that, because it's really hot in here. Because it's the summer. Just as you go, just slowly add black, because you don't want it to get too dark and then waste the paint. Okay, that looks pretty good, because for me, when you paint, it tends to be a little bit darker when it dries. So that's probably good. Just paint the whole thing, and my hands are a mess normally after painting because I've already got it on myself, and what? It's been like 2 seconds. Okay. So what I'm going to do is not paint the backside, because as soon as I lay it down to dry, it's going to stick to the paper that we have here, and and it's just going to come back off. So just kind of do an even coat. This kind of paint, acrylic paint, dries pretty quick. So it looks like a cookie or something. And as you can see, it looks a little darker on the screen. It's all right, because this will look darker when it dries. But if you're real concerned about it, then you can just add more paint to it. My paint palette's like a mess. It's just like a piece of paper that's been roughed up. Wait, where'd the black go? Oh, it's right here. Duh. Okay. But yeah, we wore these costumes for Phoenix Comic-Con, which was so much fun. And everybody did such an awesome job. I loved their costumes. And I loved our group. It was just fun because it was a bunch of friends mainly. Doing it. And we did mainly our favorite characters, pretty much, which was fun. Or just characters we happen to like from Avatar, and I don't know, I think it's fun. Sticky, it's very sticky. Okay. Plus, I feel like if you go a little bit too dark, then sometimes it's hard to see the detail. Like if it's more vibrant in color, that's a lot closer. So if it's more vibrant in color, then it's like easier to see the detail that you've put on it. Like on camera and stuff like that, the detail you've put onto it. Yeah, this looks a lot closer. I'll pick it up and try to move it over there. That looks really close. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that like that. Oh no, I just put, this is what I mean, mixing with your paintbrush. You get streaks of whatever color you were blending with, and I just put a streak of black on here. Okay, that's better. So there's that. I'm gonna paint the back side, and then I'm gonna show you how to do the little details of the White Lotus, and then we'll see how that goes.